Tutorials is brought to you by EXO Auto Works. EXO Auto Works is Colorado Springs' home of the $40 synthetic blend oil change. Call now, 719-375-3232, or visit exoautoworks.com to make your appointment. Enharmonic Studios. Enharmonic Studios is a hybrid digital analog facility designed to be quality and affordable to anyone who wants to make history. Call today, 719-963-2020, or go to facebook.com/Enharmonic Studios. Madrid Maintenance. Madrid Maintenance offers excellent handyman services in the Colorado Springs area, starting at just $35 an hour. You can reach them by phone at 719-963-2020 or online at facebook.com/Madrid Maintenance. Trevor's Beard is brought to you by The Beard Struggle. The Beard Struggle is my go-to for beard hygiene and styling products. So you should click the link below and use the code TLANE15, that's TLANE15, for 15% off your order. The Toolbar, our new line of handmade soap produced in partnership with Crafts by Carolyn Lane, available on Etsy. This soap packs a punch of manly scent like oak and fig, fresh cut lumber, cedar, and more masculine fragrances being developed all the time. With a soft touch of natural oils to cleanse and moisturize, use the link below to buy the Toolbar now. Once you try it, you'll never want to wash with anything else.
From EXO Auto Works. Streaming all over the world. It's your weekly dose of toxic masculinity. With Eric Madrid and Trevor Lane. It's Mad Tools.
What's up, everybody? I'm Eric Lane. That's Trevor Madrid. Wait.
Something like
That's
that.
Eric Lane. I'm Trevor Madrid. Wait. You can see it on the screen.
We're here.
We made it. We have a guest tonight. It's going to be a great show. There's some cool history.
Eric remembered it was Thursday.
Yeah, I did. That day of the week. It's, yeah. Well, last week was, oof, that was nutty. This week, we'll see how it goes. Day ain't over yet. But we got a long show ahead of us, and we got extra show after this.
That's right.
Yeah, so if you guys haven't signed up to our locals, you probably should.
Yeah.
Get all the extra content. What's up, Zach? Slamming the high life. Well, it is the champagne of beers.
That's right. Nothing but the best.
Nothing but the best.
And you know it's a quality brew if it comes in anything above 30 ounces.
Yes. It's definitely bougie. Well, let's see. Old Lone Wolf is heading to the Northland.
Yeah.
The Minnesota. Up there, up there in the north. So we won't be seeing him for a little while. Hopefully he jumps on the show. You can call in, buddy, and we'll see how your adventures are going up there. I hear it's warm there all year long.
That's land of beaches and bikinis and
Yep.
Nope.
Something like that.
Think of all that and then think of what's the exact opposite.
Exactly. Well, so we have a guest. Are they coming on soon? Are
They're
they doing their thing?
in there, so whenever we want to do the call.
All right. Well, I figure let's get at it. It's hard to introduce this guy. How did he introduce us?
I'll read what he put. Coming in now, Aaron Jarnigan. He's a Class A CDL driver, a carry permit holder, DIYer, unfiltered, opinioned, been through some shit.
That is the best intro ever.
So we'll bring him in now.
You guys get to hear the song.
That's right.
We're gonna get a copyright strike on this.
Nah, you can't copyright something like that, can you?
I'm wondering. Balls. He saw the first 10 seconds of the show and went, nope, fuck those guys.
Probably.
That's what I feel like happened.
Okay.
Well, we gonna shoot him a message, tell him jump on in when he's free.
Yeah.
And we'll spin on. Spin over.
All right, he received that. We'll see what his response is. Because I definitely want to talk to this.
I know, right? It was such a good.
Been through some shit.
Well, let's jump into some news because it's been a crazy week in the news, in the man news.
All right.
I don't know that we've had such a wealthy, hefty amount of news.
All right, we'll hit it here. He says, "Try again when you're ready."
Somebody was pooping.
We'll come back to the news.
Somebody was pooping. That's what happened. Hey, look, you can see the thing.
Yep.
That's
I made that
super awesome, Trevor.
Let's see if we can bring Aaron in here.
All right, ready for that that jam. Yeah, it's better than the other shit we had stuck in our head.
Where am I at? I should be
there he is.
There he is.
What's up, guy?
Bingo. What's going on?
Well,
all right.
It's 7:30 on a Thursday night. It's Man Tool Standard Time.
Oh yeah. Well, it's 9:30 Eastern Standard Time, but I'm with you.
Yep.
I'm here. Sorry I missed your call. I was literally grabbing a water. I actually was watching the stream, and I was like, well, shit, they're drinking beer. I should grab a beer. And then I went to the fridge, and I was like, well, I don't have a beer to grab.
All right, you're off the show.
I know. I even thought that went through my head. I was like, well, I might as well just hang it up. This is over before it even started.
Just lie to us and tell us it's vodka.
No, I gotta be. I'd rather tell you the truth. This is the first time we've ever met, so transparency is valued, right?
Right.
That's good. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So what's going on?
Well, it's another fantastic Thursday. It's been a hell of a week. I think we say that more often than not.
We do, yeah.
We really do.
We do.
So you're a CDL driver.
I am a CDL driver.
You're a concealed carry advocate.
Yes.
So just American.
And my carry permit means nothing anymore because Tennessee state law changed,
Ugh.
and now anyone can carry.
Oh, that's so nice.
Oh yeah, you guys became constitutional carry, or as the founding fathers would call it, the Second Amendment.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't have any issue really with anyone carrying a weapon. I think it's wise. The only concern that I had from it initially was that no one is going to be required, or maybe not everyone, but you generally just get to bypass that going to class and just getting, a little debrief basically on the attitude that it takes to carry a handgun. Because years ago when I got mine, my instructor was basically like, look, everything I'm going to say here doesn't matter. But what does matter is that if you're going to carry a loaded gun with you, especially if you're the guy that keeps a round chambered, you need to understand the temperament, because if you get to the position where you pull that weapon, you better be ready to just pull the trigger, because there's no just pulling the gun and not firing.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. You'll find yourself getting Rittenhoused.
Man, so much went on with that. I lost interest. I was like, well, there's going to be two things that come out of it. Either everybody's going to be pissed off, or everybody's going to be pissed off.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just one of those situations where everyone's all wild and rowdy and ready to fight.
Yep.
And you introduce guns into the situation, and things just got out of hand.
It did. I'm wondering if that's a situation where like my mom would have, beat all of our asses and sent us all to bed without dinner. I'm just saying, we were all in trouble. We were all wrong. Y'all.
That was my mom 100%.
Yep.
It didn't matter who did what. You're all getting your ass busted. That way the lesson is clean and clear.
Yep. Yeah. Well, anyways, this state is a little different in that you have to have your class, and then you have to be approved by the sheriff in this county.
But we are a shell issue. Like the sheriff can't just go, you didn't give me a good reason to issue. Like there has to be a reason not to issue for him to deny it. So,
like a history of whatever, or
wife beating, or
violence,
other gun crimes,
whatever, robberies, armed robberies. So, yeah, I like it. I've met some good dudes at the gas station because I pocket carry a lot, and I used to have a nice little Smith & Wesson 380, and I pocket carried that all the time. And dudes would come up to me like, "Hey man, that little Smith & Wesson," and like, you make good friends just at the gas station. So.
Yeah, I've got a little Ruger 380 that I pocket carried for a long time. I carried it so much that it actually started developing light surface rust because it was with me no matter what. Sweat, no sweat, dry, you name it. What's your all's takes on inside the waistband or outside the waistband carrying? Because we got guys and girls too that do it both ways here in Tennessee.
Yeah.
I've always been an inside the waistband guy.
Well, until I stopped hitting the gym and started hitting the drive-through pretty hard and hitting them quarter-pound curls, I was an inside the waistband. But now, that defeats the purpose. I'm like,
Something about those love handles make it a little.
Oh yeah. I mean, I could conceal a Harrier jet under there right now, man. Like.
Well, my instructor years ago was basically like, if you're going to carry one, carry it inside the waistband and train yourself to be able to pull it quickly. Because in a situation where you have it on the outside waistband and you're caught off guard, you're in the fuel station or whatever, grabbing your pack of crackers, and someone walks in and spots it, you're the first man down.
Yeah.
So I've always had that stance on it. And then years ago, too, I worked at Home Depot long before I had my CDL, and we had a guy that would come in, a customer, that carried his on his back right side. And I always thought, that has got to be the worst place to keep a handgun, because if somebody comes up from behind you and puts their foot behind your knee and grabs that gun, that's it.
Yep.
You never stood a chance. I was like, I would hate to have that gun back there and always just be over the shoulder.
And that's kind of the argument against open carry. Is that you become the first target if anybody sees.
At the same time, you're also and I've seen it happen personally and in others play. You're the first deterrent.
That is a possibility as well. Yeah,
it's a possibility. So I don't know. Every day you go outside, you take your life in your hands. Whether you're going to die of sun cancer or coronavirus or whatever.
Yep.
Something's going to get you one way or another.
One of these days, it's inevitable. It is inevitable. One of these days, you're going to get it.
One of these days, you're either going to not wake up or walk out that door and not come back.
It's one or the other. So, make them all count.
Right on.
Make them all count. So, I had to haul ass back from Fort Collins again today. I didn't make it last time. I was like 6:30. I looked at the wall. I was like, oh shit, it's Thursday.
Yeah.
I texted you. I'm like, hey, I forgot it was Thursday. I have a 4-hour drive. I'm not going to make it back. And I saw some dipshit do the classic swerve in front of an 18-wheeler and stop. Oh, there's room for me here. It's one of my biggest pet peeves. People don't understand the braking distance or the drag coefficient of rubber on asphalt. Braking distance.
Yeah, it's been my belief for a while now, especially putting the miles down on the road like I have and being all over the place, that you can take the nicest person on the planet. I mean, the person that's got the best intentions in the world, and you put a steering wheel in their hand, and it's just like flipping a switch. It's like alter ego, full force, and it's the most selfish behavior you've ever seen. But I've seen seeing somebody cut a semi off and slam the brakes on is basically a daily occurrence. You spend enough time on the road. My senses have become so keen with driving and predicting driver behavior that you just get so used to setting the speed at, 65, 68, because traffic on average, no matter where you're going, is moving at 75, 80 mile an hour. So you set it back and you take it easy, and then you just watch all the fish swim in the sea.
Yep.
And everybody's doing all their crazy behavior and 80 mile an hour and got their cell phone in one hand and fiddling in the pocketbook with the other. I mean, it's all the time something.
It is. Well, the accident I showed you.
Yeah.
Yep. I saw it happen. I was coming over the hill and you're watching the fish, and that car just went boom right into somebody coming out of the. I was like, oh, I saw it coming too. And then everything stopped, and then the emergency crews happened. It was like a mile and a half away.
I recently had one of those fun. I was trying to change lanes, and someone from behind, I think he passed the car behind me. So I checked my blind spot, and I'm like, I'm good. And I started moving over, and then suddenly this dude was in the lane where I'm trying to go and starts blasting his horn at me. I'm like, fuck you, man.
like, whoa, you see the blinker.
Like, this thing's not flashing for my health.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's human nature or if it's like the conditions of modern day society or what, but everyone just seems to be in the biggest hurry no matter what they're doing or where they're going. It's speed limit's 50, we're going to do 75. Speed limit's 70, we're going to do 95. Or we're always pushing the envelope.
Well, I'll catch myself once in a while. Because you like get on the road and you're like, I got to get there as fast as I can, wherever it is, for whatever reason. I don't like go nuts with the speeding anyways, maybe like 10 over. But a couple of times actually recently I've been like, why am I in a hurry? Like, I'm just, it's not like I'm trying to go to work or anything. Maybe I'm running an errand, but it's not like a time sensitive.
Yeah.
It's like, calm down. Just,
Whoa.
Yeah, and all the thinking that I've done, I've not been able to figure that one out because I'm the same way. It's like we're unintentionally in a hurry. So for what reason exactly? Is it just the pressure of life? Do you feel like the day is running short? What's going on with that? What drives that?
Well, to give people a lot of credit that they probably don't deserve, at least I think this is why I do it. I think it's to get out of everyone else's way. You know what I mean? Like, maybe. If I, like, in my mind, it's almost like a courtesy thing. Like, well, there could be somebody that is trying to get to work. So if I'm not rushing
if I'm expediting
I'm hindering. But that's probably giving most people way too much credit.
Yeah, you probably are.
I mean, it's an interesting thought, but I wonder if most people are programmed that way. Like, I'm in a hurry just so I can stay out of your way and get where I'm going without affecting where you're trying to go.
I don't think the altruistic nature of drivers is a thing.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm important and I got to be there now, and I'm like, how many brain surgeons are there that have to rush to the hospital right now? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, how important are you? I'm important. I have to get there.
They can't open the Burger King without me.
Everybody quit anyway. Or was that Wendy's?
I don't know.
That's a whole topic.
Yes, it is.
Right, we've definitely had several restaurants here in Cleveland. I live right outside of Chattanooga that have shut down due to staffing issues. And there's all sorts of beliefs about what's going on as far as why people aren't coming back to work.
Well, let me ask you this. Is Tennessee one of those states that stopped the federal, like, extra unemployment for coronavirus nonsense? Or, you know what I mean? Like, because for a while it was like, well, because COVID, here's extra unemployment.
Yeah.
And then a lot of people, I think this is accurate, a lot of people are like, well, why would I come back?
People told me I'm making $600 a week to stay home. I was making like $420 a week to work my ass off. So I'm just going to stay home. Like,
there's no moral value in that at
all.
No.
There's a mathematical
sure. Well,
equation, but
But it goes even further because let's say you're getting the $600 unemployment. Then you have to come up with, well, what's it take to get me off? Because if I can just sit here for $600, 601 isn't going to do it. 650? Doubt it.
The average person, no. Anybody who listens to Man Tools is going to be like, I'll take a hit even if I can go back to work and do something I want to do.
Yeah, I would much rather be working than not working. And it was actually really weird. It's not anything I ever anticipated, but my first year out as a driver is when COVID hit. And I was basically hauling parts for Toyota out of Georgetown, Kentucky, for their plant that's up there. They manufacture all the Toyota and all the Lexus sedans. And when they finally decided to shut the plant down, they were holding on. I think they were the last to actually close the plant. We just went from hauling auto parts to hauling manwich. I don't know what it is, but people in Pennsylvania were like wearing this manwich out, and we were running team trucks. So, we'd grab a load in Newport, Tennessee, which is up around Knoxville, and take it up to Pennsylvania. And all week long, just back and forth. And it never let up to the point they finally reopened the plant. We just jumped right back on and started doing that.
See, that's that's good that you're in a field that I wouldn't quite say is proof is the wrong word, but resistant to stuff like this. Let me ask you this, because a while back, they're still getting tossed around the whole vaccine mandate idea. But a while back, one of the big vocal opponents to it was actually the Teamsters Union. They were kind of like, well, if you don't want to get anything, then go ahead and do a vaccine mandate, especially to go across state lines.
Yeah.
Have you run into any of that? Like any states that are like, oh no, to come in here, you gotta be vaccinated no matter what you're doing?
No, we never ran into any issues like that. They basically, all of the shippers and receivers just got really strict on the shooting your temperature before you come in through the gate, running you through a series of questions. Where have you been?
Yeah.
Have you felt this way? Has anyone in your family been exposed? The typical rundown sheet. But we never really seen anything other than that. Work for me was pretty much as per normal. Add getting your temperature checked and add no restaurants at the truck stops were open.
Right.
And that was more or less it. Now, we didn't really go into the ports or anything, but I would imagine that was a totally different ball game.
Well, the thing in out in California, what they've effectively done is outlawed owner operators because of the environmental requirements. So unless and what ended up happening was a bunch of owner operators left California, and then they're like, how come we don't have
why don't we have shipping infrastructure?
Why don't we have enough trucks to get this shit from the port?
Yeah, in my time driving, I've not ran Cali whatsoever, but it's regarded pretty much across the board that if you're a truck driver, you want to avoid California at all costs, even before COVID.
Oh no,
just because of the way that they are with their laws and just all of the politics.
You can just say if you're a person
being a truck driver. It's crazy.
High keys.
Yeah, so I pretty much
but they got
have ran.
I was gonna say that they got them straws outlawed, so
that's good. We saved turtles.
Saving them straws.
Such an odd place.
It's so weird. So weird.
Yeah, the two coasts are fucking weird. I don't know if you've heard, I guess New York just recently, I think it's passed a law that companies and public services, it's now some kind of crime for them to misgender you or dead name you if you're a transgender type of person. So if they send you a letter and say, Mr. John Smith, and you've transitioned to be Miss Jane Smith, like, you can take them to court. And
because they sent you a letter, like,
yeah,
Wow.
Yeah. Your bill came in with a dead name and the wrong pronouns.
That can't be a law. That cannot be a law.
No, there was a thing with the governor like signing it, and she was super proud of this really important thing that they were doing, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah, society is in a really odd state these days. Like it's went from cowboys and Indians to softness and tiptoes. I don't know. It's really odd.
Teddy bears and unicorns.
That's right.
Yep, it really has. It's I don't know. I've worked on a ranch, and when I was about ready to eat that animal, I softened it up there for a minute, right before it went to slaughter. So I'm just drawing metaphors here.
Yeah. Are you saying we're all on our way to slaughter?
Pretty much.
Okay.
I mean, thinly veiled.
Yeah.
Thinly veiled. God, I'm hungry.
Well, it's wild if you look at kind of the global picture. While we're behaving like that, China is doing stuff like saying, all right, kids, you can have 3 hours of video games a week. Oh, and we're not going to let TV shows and movies portray men as like girly. You can say what you want about the Chinese. Obviously, it's a totalitarian state that I wouldn't want to, live in or whatever. But their focus is clearly to win on the global stage.
Yeah.
While ours seems to be to accommodate everyone and everything. Which is a weird
home of the brave and land of the free.
Yeah.
free to be anybody and anything you'd like to be, as long as you can deem it normal, I guess.
I mean, what happened to stay in your lane? Like, yeah, you want to go do that, that's cool, man, as long as you're not breaking the fundamental universal rules here.
Yeah.
Stay in your lane. You want to dress like that or act like that? Yeah, go ahead. That's why God invented bedroom doors. Go do your thing, and just show up to work on time and whatever. I'm good.
Well, that's the weird part to me is the movements to make the state take action against people, or even corporations and entities. Like, oh, they called me by my old name. Well, did you do all the paperwork to change that? Well, no, but fuck them.
But fuck them. See, the only reason you should be calling HR is when they fuck up your deductions on your taxes. That's about the only time you should be fucking with them.
Yeah, where's my money,
Yep,
bitch?
where's my money? Whoa, I ain't paying this. What are you talking about? No. Where's my deductions? So, other than that,
6 kids, not 3.
Yeah. I mean, realistically, like, your paycheck's not on time. Any other time, you just want to avoid that whole mess of Karens.
Yeah.
Do you know what they call the flock of Karens?
A cunt? No. A cunt of Karens?
Quantity of Karens.
That's an HOA.
1 unit.
1 unit. It's an HOA of Karens. A flock of Karens. That's pretty funny.
What's interesting to think about, though, is you take like the world that we live in now with the internet and social media, and everybody has basically been given the power to have their own voice, whether it be good, bad, or kind of weird. Has it always been this way? But then the internet, like, what would it have been this way 40 years ago, 50 years ago, if it wasn't for the internet and the fact that everybody has that internet voice right there in their pocket,
or the that knowledge, quote unquote knowledge, right there accessible. We've always every election year we've had a pandemic in this country for the last 25 years. Every single time, This is the only one that got away from him. Like, we all had that in our pocket, and everything just wildfired.
Well, did it get away from them, or did they plan some shit?
I don't know. I think a little bit of both.
Yeah.
But I agree. We've all got this instant access. You know, I'm guilty of doing it now. I'm sending bills to clients because they finally got back to me, but I'm doing it like right now and multitasking. So guilty as charged.
Yeah. Along the same vein, I've wondered about this, and I've seen people smarter than me answer it, and I don't know if they're right, but you and I talked about this a while back. One good thing that's come from the whole internet social media thing is that when politicians or newscasters or like trusted figures now, when they go on TV and lie, they can get caught. And my question back when we kind of talked about this, I don't know, we were like out front bullshitting, was Walter Cronkite a liar and just nobody could catch him on it because
there was
no way
stream.
Well, there was no way to even like if he talked about something last week, there was no way for you to prove that he said what he said.
Right. You didn't have a video recorder to go catch him in a lie. Were
they really better than these people we have now, or is it just that now we have the capability to catch these nefarious figures?
I'll tell you what, it's the human consciousness, and I can prove it with the Nintendo theory.
Okay, what's the Nintendo theory?
You guys ready for this? All right. No, Aaron, you ready for this?
I'm ready. I'm listening.
Nintendo theory.
I was giving you that moment.
How do you get a game to work on the old Nintendo when it wasn't working?
You blow it.
How did we all fucking figure that shit out and know that without the internet back then?
I had two older brothers that were blowing it long before I was.
I'm just saying, like I was on the cusp. I was the transition between, what was that? The Atari thing to the Nintendo thing. Like I was there. There was a Mario Brothers fucking not pinball video game machine at the King Supers, and I would just save money to go play that thing like every Saturday, just waste like $5 on it. How did we all know that? Like that information spread because why? We wanted it. We needed to know. We all had a Nintendo that wouldn't work at a game, and usually it was 10-yard fight or something like that. That didn't work. Excite Bike. But we all blew.
It was back in the day when you needed to know something, you had to pick up the phone and call your uncle or call your cousin or get everybody going around the circle to be like, okay, can we solve this problem?
Mm-hmm. It's just a little faster now. Like, so there, we've always done this. We were either sending up smoke signals or, carrier pigeons or telegrams, something. Now we just have it faster.
I don't know.
Much faster. Think almost any answer you could possibly want within seconds, as long as you search it right on Google, you can have it.
Yeah, I learned a lot of weird shit about Google this week. Do you know what SEO is?
Search engine optimization.
Search engine optimization.
Yeah, that shit's like ancient history now. It doesn't work. Okay. The way they write the algorithms for the Google searches things, it's just got nothing to do with so you hire these companies to do SEO for you, and it's fucking useless because the way Google wants to do it now. It takes into consideration like your age, your demographic, your geography of the moment, your location at that point, everybody else's search verbiage in the last 30 seconds to 30 minutes to 30 days. It's ridiculous. It's like if you go anything, concealed handgun is illegal. Like it'll just start throwing shit out. Like if you live there, or concealed handgun, like if your demographic of regionally located people is very much for it, it will come up with all kinds of cool shit for it. If they're against it, totally like against it. Doesn't matter your proclivities either. And it changes cyclically by the minute.
Wow.
That baked my noodle this week.
Well, that was one of those things, like there was something that went around on Facebook for a while, and this has been months or maybe even a couple of years ago, where you could go into the settings on your Facebook account and go into certain menu set or whatever, and it would classify you politically based on posts that you had interacted with, even though you hadn't necessarily gone on Facebook and deemed yourself as identifying as this party. So it's all the data mining.
Yep.
What you're saying is pretty interesting because it's like content aware suggestions based on your age, based on your location, based on the things that you have searched on Google. Google will suggest this content
Based on,
but it seems to me like SEO would still be relevant too, because what's my age, hair color, and location got to do with the fact that I need to know how to put these vacuum lines on this 88 Chevrolet? Like, is SEO going to completely be canned, or is there going to be just two different, basically, search engines working in the same space?
I don't know. It's a good question. But if you and I both try to search the same thing right now, the canned answers will be wildly different. Just probably just based on geography. Like I could grab Trevor's phone and do it, and it would be because I'm not
At
Trevor.
least a little bit different.
Huh. That'd be nutty.
So are you guys iPhone users or are you Android users?
We're one of each.
Yep.
One of each. Have you all felt like you've had it happen where you're in a room and you're talking about needing to buy those black curtains for the bedroom, and then
we
you
do it on purpose.
open your phone and boom.
So we do it on purpose. We were talking about cat food a few months back. Neither one of us have cats, and both of us got
And then we got cat food
food ads. And, yep.
How does that make you feel? Do you feel like it's a good thing that they're listening, and that they're able to suggest you aware content, aware ads?
Oh, of course not.
No. I here's what I find disturbing. Do you remember Star Trek: The Next Generation? Computer, blah 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 blah. I'm like, that computer was a piece of shit because it had to hang on. It was doing what it had to be doing what our phones do now.
Yeah.
Every time someone talked, whether they said computer first or not, it was listening. So I'm like, you know what I mean? Like, obviously they didn't bring that into the show or anything. But it's a weird, like, I don't know. Everything's a rat is almost what it feels like. Like my folks have an Alexa, and I would never do an Alexa. I would never, ever, ever.
No.
The phone listening to me is bad enough.
It really is. I don't know. There's the easy button too. You're just like, I really need a new Paul Reed Smith guitar, and then your inbox is inundated with some great deals
With guitars.
Yeah. One of my friends just texted me, said she's like, "You have a doppelganger at the Black Sheep." I was like, "What? A fat guy with a beard and a black V-neck?" I'm like, at the rock show? No way, really? It's not hard to do. Not hard to do, bro. That was podcast worthy. Of course there is.
So more than anything, the phones and the I'm reluctant to say her name because I've got one sitting right here that's going to go off if I say it. More than anything, it allows these companies that are manufacturing products to get right in your inbox or right on your Facebook, right on your Instagram.
Yeah.
Which makes us spend money. Or it doesn't have that impact on some people who are actually really good with handling temptation. But if you're not good at handling temptation, then you're going to be broke forever because every time something pops up, you're going to order 16 bags of cat food.
Yep.
Because they said they had 86 cents off a bag.
That's something I don't have a problem with compulsory buying, so I think that's why I trade a little bit of that convenience for that surveillance, I guess. I'm a laggard buyer, I never buy anything new right off the shelf because I'm like, this thing's gonna be fucked up for like 6 months. They got to fix the bugs. You know, I don't care what it is. Software. I mean, I just recently did Pro Tools. What is it called? 2019. I just did it. They're on to like Pro Tools version whatever, and I'm like, nah, they worked out the kinks. They're on like 2019.8. I'm like, all right, they worked out the bugs.
See, you know, here's what bugs me. Like, if we know that they're doing the targeted ads with this, I always go to, well, what more nefarious things are they doing when they listen to my conversation?
We talked about this the other day when they ping us with that thing on the cell phone. We have taken over your cell phone camera, and we know what you've been looking at in your browser history. If you don't send us $500 in crypto, we're going to expose those pictures to the internet.
And I just sent them a dick pic.
I sent them a dick pic right then and there. I was like, floppy dong.
Oh, you're going to expose
there
this?
There you go, bro. Enjoy. If you get any money out of that, let me know. I'll split it with you. It's the first time I ever sent a real dick pic to some stranger. It was pretty hilarious, I thought.
I don't know. Maybe I'm an alarmist, but I'm very concerned by the partnership between like corporate and government entities.
That's
so it's like, because the workaround for, say, the FBI or whoever is that we didn't obtain this from Trevor.
Right.
You know, he's an Android user, so Google shared it with us. And what Google does with, I mean, it's in the terms of service. So what Google does with his data is perfectly legal because he agreed to it by saying, yes, I want the latest operating system, or, you know, whatever.
Sure.
That's the part where I'm like, I don't know. You know, suddenly you're on a watch list and being followed around.
Dude, let's be fair. You and I have been on a watch list since we were like 16, so
it's probably true.
I mean, we've gotten so much trouble over the years. I've known Trevor like 30 years or something like that. So, yeah, we've had our fair share of fucking ridiculousness. I mean, I get it. But again, I don't know. I'm seeing the world how it's working right now. It's all about selling you something. And what I love, note the sarcasm, I love right now is no one's actually selling you a product anymore, not per se. The big thing is to sell you their instructional video. This is how you become a millionaire. This is how you become a podcaster. Everyone, they weren't making money at their job, which just frustrates me, by the way, because 15 years ago, when I was really trying to get into audio engineering, I had to legit go to somewhere and knock on the door and ask dude if I go work here, you know. And they're like, go mow the lawn and, you know, here, make sandwiches, do all the interny shit. Now those dudes, not all those dudes, but those dudes are making these instructional videos for dirt cheap online. I'm like, you motherfuckers, like I've been struggling for years to get the firsthand knowledge, the know-how. I'm like, you lucky kids, you have kids today are so lucky. You have it so nice.
Yeah, now it's, you just subscribe to that dude's Patreon, and then there's a weekly video
awesomeness of knowledge that you can digest. And we go back to what Aaron said about, is it always been like this, or is this all new? And I'm sure somewhere, some point, my great granddad was pissed off at my grandpa for having Encyclopedia Britannicas in his house. Do you know how hard it was to get information about the lemurs? Like, you know,
lemurs. You really dug that one out there.
Yeah, sorry. Wee. No hands.
No, but seriously, I mean,
it's a thing, right?
Google the internet is basically the Amtrak of learning anymore, and it's given everybody the opportunity to be incredibly independent. So
right,
you don't have to call up Uncle Jeff anymore to ask how to get this wheel off this car or anything. You just go to Google.
Yeah,
it's right there.
Yeah, but the flip to that though is now you have a bunch of experts that actually don't know what the fuck they're talking about. Everybody has an opinion without the knowledge to come up with an actual opinion that matters, and you know, can spout whatever.
You consumed all this knowledge, but you haven't actually put it into work.
Well, it's like you know, we kind of touched on the Rittenhouse case earlier. How many people are still saying that he illegally brought a firearm over state lines, even though it was, if you watch the actual trial and not just the news coverage, that never happened?
Well,
but you'll still see people on social media go, well, he illegally crossed state lines with a right, and it's like, no, he didn't.
Trevor and I both follow this feminist chick that just she's an interesting one. Following her for many years on the Instagrams, we like send shit back and forth to each other once in a while. She's a he woman man hater. she baits dudes on dating sites or dating
apps or whatever.
Apps, yeah. Jesus, couldn't even think of the thing.
Yeah,
and then
like Tinder and
yeah,
stuff.
and then posts their debates up, baits them hard. I know it. I just know it because I've talked to this woman and I know how she is. She'll bait them and then expose them on her Instagram and post all the dumb shit they said or the dumb shit. She's like, and look at this, and then she's like, look at this turd and blah blah blah. So yeah, we have our people. I don't know where I was going with that. It was going somewhere. I swear to God.
It's a fun story.
No, it wasn't.
No.
What were you saying right before that?
Well, it's just really interesting. I mean, what you're saying in general, because it's hard to make generalizations about the human race because there's literally just so many different types of people living and functioning. But you take any type of feminist per se, the ones especially that are all about, thumping it, I guess you could say. And it's like they get off on the crucifixion of other people.
There it is.
Whether it
for.
brings them any benefit or not.
Like,
it just. I just want to see you burn for no good reason.
Yeah, she is overly obtuse to fact. So, like we were saying about the Rittenhouse, that she's been overly posting about that, about how you cross state line, sharing the memes of the one-sided, super slanted, one-way. I'm just going to say, all those people who are out there fucking around with guns should have all got their asses handed to them.
Well, look.
Grounded.
Here,
my mom would have got her flip-flop and whooped all of us.
Here's how I twisted on those folks, because most of those folks are also get rid of the police, and I'm like,
hello. Yeah.
Then you have a whole community of Kyle Rittenhouses because there's no police. That's what happens.
You made an involuntary contribution. Did you hear about that shit? Some dude went to the Seattle
Chaz or whatever.
The Chaz, the safe space, the whatever, their little kingdom, their paradise. And he's like, "Hey man, like my laptop got stolen." And he went to their little police, whatever they weren't called police, but they were
they're security,
a security force. So wait, we want to get rid of the police, but now we need a security force. Then he goes to the security force because his laptop was stolen, and the person in charge said, "Well, you made an involuntary donation."
I mean, I guess there are a lot of people out there that think we don't need policing in the world, but what you got to realize is if you do away with the policing, it's going to go back to like 18th century, where it's people died over nothing. Nothing. You tied my horse up the wrong way, you're dead.
Yeah.
Like back then, people didn't, necessarily think about the consequences of their actions. They just acted.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everything escalated very quickly. But at the same time, I do like the meme about, if dueling between two consenting adults were legal right now, we'd have a lot less bitching on the internet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was the thing that consent of combat?
Oh, no, what did they call that? Joint combat?
No, consented combat, I think. Something to that effect, where two men want to fight. That's consensual combat. Let them do it.
In some states, that's a thing.
Yep, I like it. I like it a lot.
Yeah, where
what you'd find really quickly is that, say, 85% of the people don't have the balls to sign something like that.
Yep.
Well,
it would just the issue would be muted.
So
instantly.
It's you don't have to sign it. Was it Chicago that we were talking about? Because where the DA, a district attorney, basically said, I'm not going to prosecute this case where two guys got into a fight. I forget if one got shot, but anyways, they brought that up. Apparently in Illinois, it's still, most places have done away with it, but there are a few states that still have it. And in Illinois, it was basically like, nope, they both wanted to fight each other. Like there wasn't a single aggressor that pushed it to that. It was, they both got upset with each other. They both decided violence was the answer. And so the DA was like, no, I'm not bringing charges against anybody. It was mutual combat.
Mutual combat.
That's what it is.
Yes. Consensual combat is what you do with your wife.
Yeah.
Mutual combat.
Yeah.
Is for solving problems.
That's right. I like it. I mean,
I dig it. I mean, it's like both parties. Then no one's a victim. No one's an assailant. It's just.
I think
cool.
The only ruling I thought we saw in that was as long as, if there's property damage, then.
Yeah. But in this case, it was like both parties. There was evidence that both parties clearly wanted to move things to violence. And it, I guess under the law there, it was like, that's fine. Go ahead.
Take it outside. Beat each other up. Just take it outside.
This sounds like an opportunity to start building arenas.
Yeah.
Fight club, man.
Fight clubs,
Fight club would be totally legal there.
It would be legal. You got a beef? Go handle it. Oh, you don't got a beef anymore? Yeah, that's what I thought. Well, I think people would be... You're right, though. We have the 80-20 rule here on Man Tools. 80% of the time, it's nobody cares. Like, we're just whatever. 20% of you are fucking it up for the rest of us. That's kind of how it rolls. They're also the loudest. That 20% is also the loudest.
Yeah. Somehow there's always it's not that most people want name an issue or whatever.
A name a referendum.
It's
the loudest 20%.
Yeah, there's a little group that's making enough noise that.
Yeah. Because the rest of us have jobs and lives and bills and Discover card payments and shit to do, like grown-up stuff to do.
Bills travel 2 times as fast as anything else in the mail.
Dude,
that's right.
That's what they say.
They do.
But yeah, could you imagine the world if somehow or another we could convince everyone to get rid of our cell phones for 90 days?
Oh my God. That's the key. What is that called? Oh crap! I can't think of it. That's the grief key. It's when your brain resets itself after about 90 days. So even like people who've lost their child, out of sight, out of mind for 90 days, your brain resets itself.
They're not over it.
They're not over. You're never over it. But you're over it.
Right.
Makes sense. You break up with, you quit your job, break up with your spouse, whatever it ends up being. In 90 days, your brain is like, you have no contact. Cheeseburgers. I mean, it'll be a lot better for you 90 days of no cheeseburgers too. But the dopamine reaction from eating the crappy food, your brain chemistry changes. Heroin, anything like that. It's the 90-day rule. So I'm with you, Aaron. If I could do it legitimately, I would. My buddy John is living his best life, and I hate to use that Karen term, but he's seriously doing well. He hasn't had Facebook for years. He has no social media. He's a super happy guy.
Yeah.
No constant influx of just garbage.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's those, I've been on social media hiatuses and really like with me at my age and whatnot, I was in high school. MySpace was kind of out. Facebook was coming in right as I graduated. We had Instagram. There was an influx in smartphones and cameras. And when you're a kid, or you're 17, 18, you're hanging out at the car shows and stuff. You're trying to be cool. So you're taking pictures and you're posting it on Instagram. So I guess all that to say is I've been involved with social media strongly since it really hit the door. But I took a while off, probably 5 or 6 months worth of time, deleted Facebook, deleted Instagram, deleted Snapchat, deleted Twitter, which I've never really used Twitter heavily anyways, but always a Facebooker and an Instagrammer. And what I noticed when I was off social media is my productivity went through the roof, because all these apps are designed to push those push notifications to you. Like if you open Facebook up, you'll have a notification about a post that somebody made on somebody else's post that started with another post that has absolutely nothing to do with you, but Facebook wants you to see it.
Well, and then it's an inbox reflex. Oh, got to take care of this.
Yeah.
I'm doing something without doing anything. Da, da, da.
Yeah,
so
you,
it constantly
you feel
forces
productive.
you to open these apps whether you need to or not.
Yeah.
So it's like it's the nickel and dime thing. Like whether you realize it's happening or not, every day these apps and the internet nickel and dime you of all this time and all this attention and focus. And it's just crazy to see how effective it is at keeping people's attention.
Unlike this show.
Like I said, I've been on social media apps for a long time. I've not seen one as powerful as TikTok since the beginning. That app is like, it's literally like social media heroin.
Yeah, I'm never going to get
Once you're
one.
on it, like, yeah, don't. It's like it's a double-edged sword. It's the greatest app on the planet. And because it's the greatest app, it's also the worst.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't think we would fit on TikTok.
Well, I've thrown it around in my own head of doing not a personal TikTok, but a Man Tools TikTok. And every time I end up coming to the conclusion that it's not going to be worth it, that we're not going to draw enough people on there to shit that matters that we do.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. And then in the meantime, just having it on a device, like you talk about like the spy thing. It's literally made by a Chinese, like no secret. It's made by a Chinese company. I think clearly its real benefit for them isn't so much, ad revenue and all that nonsense. It's collecting data.
Yeah.
So,
well, and I think it's of what I've seen, the smatterings, because now TikTok has invaded every other social media, so you get the videos.
yeah, you get the videos from everywhere.
I've seen social structure manipulation through comedy. So there's this huge push for pulling pranks on your wife or your boyfriend. That shit, dude.
What's anything you can do to get attention, because attention is that hit of dopamine
Yep.
Yeah.
for most.
Yep. Oh, how hard can you hit your girlfriend or wife on the ass when you walk by? And you're like, dude, really? That's abuse.
Yeah.
It's literally assault. Like,
Yeah, and see, it's interesting because, so when I think about it, like, as far as high school goes, I was there, like I said, when social media came about. So every kid from like or after my generation is growing up through elementary school, middle school, and high school with social media. And social media is such an open platform, especially TikTok. I mean, you can get on there and see virtually anything that you want to see except porn. I mean, that's pretty much what's off limit. But I've got old-fashioned grandparents and I got old-fashioned parents, which makes me kind of old-fashioned in a lot of ways. But every generation, say like after me, with the power of all the social media, it's going to change drastically. All that women used to wear dresses and women didn't show X amount of boobs if they weren't this age or whatnot, all that's gone. It's basically at this point, it's virtually gone.
Well, yeah, it's I'm parenting 2 girls, and especially with the younger one, it's a constant, can I get this app or this game? Can I get this app or this game? And it's like, well, what is it? I don't know.
I don't know.
Like, it just showed up. It was being pushed to her on one of the other apps, and it's like, okay, well, if you don't know, then no. And she'll get very like, she's like 10, so she's not quite like fuck everybody, but she'll get rather upset, like,
She'll get a little moody.
I don't get anything. And it's like, okay, do you have a roof over your head? Have you eaten today?
Yep.
Did you go to school?
Kids and adults both don't really look at what's right in front of them. We're always looking 100 feet out.
Yeah. So yeah.
So I don't care about the fact that the lights are on and I've got a warm bed to sleep in. I need this app.
Right. Yep.
Everybody at school's got this app, and kids are super impressionable and they're trend followers. So I need it too, or you don't love me.
Yeah.
At least, I don't know. I can at least justify mine by it helped me get a work ethic. And it taught me a valuable lesson, because when I was in middle school, if you didn't have a pair of Nikes, you got your ass kicked. You were ostracized. You were a social pariah. You didn't have a nice pair of shoes. $100 pair of shoes. My mom's like, yeah, right, dude. $100 is a lot of fucking money.
Yeah.
Well, it forced me to go work in the fields, hoe lettuce and spinach all summer to get $100 to buy a pair of nice shoes. And in that, I learned hard work for something, even if it were to buy something dubious. I still got it. My Spanish got a lot better.
You probably gave a shit about that pair of Nikes a lot more than
right.
if it was just handed to you.
Love that pair of Nikes.
It would get scuffed and you're like, yep. Let's get that taken care of right away.
And in the end, it didn't matter because it really wasn't about the shoes.
Yeah.
In the end, it doesn't even matter.
There it is. Dropped it on him. Stuck in his brain. It's better than the one we're going to do to you later.
Man, that's
the
come here, boy.
Yeah, it wasn't about the shoes. It was about social status, and you were already in the poor kids group, so you're never getting out.
Right.
It's like
yeah.
It's like trying to date the cheerleader. You're in the friend zone. You're never getting out of the friend zone.
Yeah.
Just back to the friend zone. And I was like, so even though I busted my ass, got this thing, I am still a social pariah. Fuck them. I got a job. I was like the first kid to have a car when he was 15 too. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, I definitely wasn't a silver spoon kid by any means. We weren't dirt floor poor, but we were Section 8 government housing.
Yep, right there.
Papa was a Rolling Stone. And it definitely, that upbringing right there teaches you a lot about what you want and how to work and how to get it. Those types of things like you were just talking about.
Yeah, you have like Led Zeppelin said, you have two paths you can go by. You're either going to end up just like your deadbeat old man, or you're going to be the exact opposite.
Yeah.
So. Anyway, speaking of deadbeats.
He's laughing.
If you want your
already.
Yeah. Speaking of deadbeats, if your car's being a deadbeat piece of crap on you, we got the people to call. As always, Man Tools is brought to you by our friends at EXO Auto Works here in Colorado Springs, home of the $40 synthetic blend oil change. EXO knows that finding the problem is the first step to getting your car right, which is why EXO Auto Works provides diagnostics. They also do fleet services, fluid services, repair services, and much, much more. They work on all makes and models, including high-mileage cars like Trevor's, which has all the miles.
It does.
It has all the miles. And they offer a 24,000-mile, 2-year nationwide warranty. Call EXO at 719-375-3232 or go online to exoautoworks.com to book your appointment right away. Thanks, EXO.
Yeah, thanks, EXO. So, Aaron, before we kind of close things up on the show, we like to do a little segment called The Week in History. Do you want to hang out and go through that with us?
Sure.
All right, man.
I got some rock and roll trivia for you in history.
Oh, God, I'm going to bomb this completely.
Everybody says that, but...
We're going to play a little intro. You're not going to be able to hear the music, but don't worry. When it finishes, then we'll get into the meat of the segment. So,
all right,
man.
First on the flank, the other Charlie, hip fight, and that is right.
It's this week in his history.
Well, this week in his history, November 8th, 1865, Mark Twain's first story, The Celebrated Jumping Frog of Calaveras County, was published in the New York Saturday Press. And of course, Mark Twain would go on to many, many more
I mean, he wrote a couple
published
books.
works.
He was in Star Trek Next Generation.
That's true. Let's see, November 19th, 1990. Pop duo Mili Vanilli were stripped of their Grammy Award after it was learned that they did not sing on their award-winning Girl You Know It's True album.
Ooh, 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 I love you. Told you. It's going to be in your head now. It's going to be in your dome all night long.
Gotta love when one of those sounds gets on you like that. 3 o'clock in the morning, I gotta take a shit, and before I even realize I'm awake, it's ooh, ooh, ooh.
Yep. Girl, you know it's true.
Let's see, November, where was it? 20th, 1945. The Nazi war crime trials begin in Nuremberg. This is rather relevant now because one of the things that came out of the Nuremberg trials was something called the Nuremberg Code, which prohibited, among other things, coercing people into medical treatments.
We're not coercing. We're just taking away everything you want to do until you acquiesce.
That's actually a violation of international law.
I bet you can't get away with that at a concert now. You'd be like, sorry,
the Nuremberg.
Nuremberg.
Yeah. I doubt. They're like, cool. Then don't come see Metallica.
Yeah.
Let's see. November 21st, 1927. I found this kind of interesting. Police turned machine guns on Colorado miners who were on strike and killed 5 and wounded 2. Machine guns.
What was the reason for turning the machine guns? Because they were on strike.
They were on strike. I don't know if they were like preventing strike breakers from getting into the mine to work, or I don't know. You know, I'll put it this way: rich and powerful people can get the police to do whatever they want.
That's pretty much what happened.
So obviously, anyone that owns a mine is doing very well and could go, "Hey, I've got this problem. Can you shoot all of them?" And they went, "Yep." We sure
Shit they could get away with before the internet happened.com.
Yep, that's it.
Yeah.
1927.
Yep. Let's see. This one's a big one. November 22nd, 1963. Lee Harvey Oswald assassinated President John F. Kennedy in Dallas, Texas. And of course, then Lyndon B. Johnson gets sworn in as president.
Somebody asked me one time, what would you do if you had a time machine? I said, first off, I'd go back and stick one on Hitler, just right in the mouth. Pop him one right in the mouth. And I said, the second thing
I don't think anybody would contest
right, that. Second thing I would do is go back to Dallas, 1964, and yell, duck.
Would ducking really help in a conversation?
No, I'm just saying.
No, I don't believe it would.
This is a comedy show.
Watch out. And he just looks up.
Huh? It would have been back and to the right instead of back and to the left.
Let's see. November 23rd, 1990. Some herstory. The first all-woman expedition to the South Pole sets off from Antarctica, or I guess a different part of Antarctica, because if I'm not mistaken, the whole thing down there is Antarctica. Anyways.
But you got to start in Antarctica somewhere.
That's true. The group included 12 Russians, 3 Americans, and 1 Japanese.
That's why they said it, because it's an international expedition.
Yeah.
So it started in Antarctica to head to the south.
They didn't start. Yeah.
They didn't start in Canada.
Yep. Gotcha. Let's see. November 24th, 1859. Charles Darwin published The Origin of the Species by Means of Natural Selection or the Preservation of Favored Races in the Struggle for Life. Not sure about that second title. Sounds a little Nazi. Anyways, the first printing of 1,250 copies sells out in a single day.
Did better than Backstreet Boys
wild.
in 2002.
Yes, he did.
Backstreet Boys.
And anyways, that brings us to the end of this week in
Almost.
his. Okay, you got some more.
I do.
I'm sorry.
All
I
right,
forgot.
pop quiz. Who is Herbert Peterson?
No idea.
Today.
I guess if this is rock and roll, I'm bombing.
This one's kind of rock and roll. Herbert Peterson was a McDonald's franchise owner in the 1960s, and he invented what sandwich?
Oh, the chicken sandwich.
No, close.
Right?
It would be of the breakfast persuasion.
The biscuit?
No,
No.
that was
I don't know.
after. It's the big one.
What did he come up with?
It's the big one. The Egg McMuffin.
The Egg Mcmuffin.
So if you order on the app today, I know today's pretty much over, and you can't get it right now. But if you ordered on the app today, you can get it for the original price of 63 cents.
Interesting.
Right? Today and today only. So is the...
Considering they're probably $3.49.
Yeah.
That's a smoking
It's
deal.
a smoking deal. All right, rock and roll trivia.
Let me say this though, real quick. If you're into stuff like that, you need to watch the documentary that's on YouTube about why the McDonald's ice cream machine is always broken.
Yeah. Did you see the mockumentary of the guy going to fix the machine?
Ooh, I don't think I've seen the mockumentary, but I watched the documentary for sure, and it's freaking crazy.
He just puts on a suit and he goes and he fixes the machines. Didn't we watch this on the...
Yeah, we watched it. We watched it.
He like tap it right here, and he goes and taps it, and then he just like rubs on it, or he puts a piece of blue tape on it, and he's got somebody filming him, and he's like fixing the ice cream machines at various McDonald's. They like let him in, and he's
some elusive action to get it running again.
It's amazing. That's amazing.
You just got to lean over the top of it and take 3 deep breaths. The son bitch will heat up immediately.
Worked. Fired right up. 27 years ago today, what band was the first band ever to they didn't call it podcast, or what was it?
Stream.
They didn't call it stream. It was webcast. Part of their concert on the internet.
I don't know. I'm just going to throw it out there and say AC/DC.
Well, not too far off. Maybe 20 years. The Rolling Stones, actually, to an audience of about 200 people. Considering that was 27 years ago, that was probably a whole lot of dial up.
Staggering 320p.
Staggering. Last but not least, in 1991, what band, 7 months after, or 1997, 7 months after his death, released their Unplugged album, which went on to sell like 18 million copies. They loaded into Sony Studios in New York tonight, many years ago.
97, you said?
Yeah.
I'm just going to say it again. AC/DC.
Never has done an acoustic album.
I don't think they
an
would.
unplugged album. That would have been Nirvana's Unplugged.
How about that?
Yeah.
Was that's not the now again, I had buddies in high school that listened to all sorts of stuff, but I was never really a Nirvana listener. Is that the album with the baby trying to get the dollar?
Nope, that would have been like 92. That would have been Nevermind. That would have been their third record. Their fourth studio album would have been their last studio album, and then they went on to do the acoustic record, and then they released a live album posthumously. Yeah.
Sounds right to me. I don't know.
Bleach, Incesticide, Nevermind, and then In Utero.
music buff I see here.
Yeah.
I'll have to listen to some Nirvana tomorrow.
I mean, you don't have to. They're not my favorite, but best thing Nirvana ever did was the Foo Fighters. I'm just gonna put that out there.
Are you saying the best thing Kurt Cobain did was die?
I didn't directly say that, but I'm saying the drummer, when the drummer from your band goes on to be wildly more successful than your band.
Yeah.
Yeah. Got to play with the Beatles. Like, I mean, come on.
Yeah.
That's what happened. Yeah, we go all night on rock and roll trivia.
We could.
We really could. But we won't. Because it's super late where you are. You got to get up early and, push some tin. Oh, sorry. That's an aviator thing.
Yep.
Yeah. What are you guys pushing tin? That's air traffic controller. What they call their job.
Do I have a phrase that I use? I mean, the first thing that comes to mind is just say chasing asphalt.
There it is.
Yeah.
Dig it. We'll use it.
Chasing asphalt.
All right. Well, Aaron, thank you so much. Can you tell everybody where to find you?
Don't come looking for me, but if you want to find me digitally, you can find me on Instagram at Aaron Jarnigan. That's Alpha Romeo Oscar November Juliet Alpha Romeo November Indigo Golf Alpha November.
All right.
Nobody will get that. It's like hieroglyphics.
All three of us got it. We're good.
Yeah.
Okay, smoked it.
Yep. Thank you for watching and or listening. Please check us out at on the interwebs, on our shoutcast, on our streamcast. What do they call it? Webcast. On our webcast. God, why do they change all the words?
I don't know, man.
I don't know. But you can find us at...
Everybody's got their own brand.
Yeah, you can find us at mantoolsmedia.com. Our social media is at linktree/mantoolsmedia. Subscribe to the new YouTube channel at the top of the page. Please like and subscribe. As you well know, we were completely kicked off YouTube for doing awesome shit, and now we need to get our own YouTube back up and running. So like, subscribe, and share that YouTube page, please and thank you. Buy Man Tools merch, including our new Thug Thinkers shirts. They are super awesome. Check these out. Yeah, we also have some of our Patreon podcasts.
We do.
So the one I really enjoyed recently was So You're Getting Divorced. It was very helpful, to you guys out there. We have 2 Thug Thinker shirts. What we're calling them, the Spooner and the Jefferson.
So we got Lysander Spooner with a great quote there on taxation. Taxation without consent. If taxation without consent is not robbery, then any band of robbers have only to declare themselves a government and all their robberies are legalized. That was like a super old school way of saying taxation is theft.
Yeah.
And Spooner, I highly recommend you look him up. He's a very interesting guy. He basically was a founding father born about 100 years too late. He lived in Massachusetts and illegally practiced law in Massachusetts.
Yeah.
So,
badass.
In fact, the law changed because he kept winning.
Interesting.
Yeah.
The OG.
Yep.
True OG.
Yep. So
you guys all Google Lysander Spooner.
Definitely a thug thinker.
Thug thinker.
Sorry, I'm trying to get it back to
you're all right. It's like a real podcast.
Almost.
We have our Thug Thinkers shirts, as you guys saw. We also have our ugly Christmas sweater designs. These are all from Teespring. And the Toolbar soap from Crafts by Carolyn Lane on Etsy. Comes in a variety of manly aromatic awesomeness. It's so good. Use the Support on Locals link to get members-only content for just $3 a month. And now through the new year, you'll get 1 month free with the code XMAS21. Let's see here. Starting tomorrow on Locals, we will be exploring the Jefferson Bible, and you will be enjoying that because that's going to be awesome. We're going to do that tonight after this program. And there will be No show next week because it is technically a Hallmark holiday.
That's right.
It is. It'll be Thanksgiving next Thursday. So, I mean, I don't have any plans. I could come break some shit in here again.
If you want, go for it. I will not be here.
Last time I did it, all the buttons just got pushed, and this podcast went to hell in a handcart. Once again, like, subscribe, share, rate, and review. Aaron, thank you so much for hanging out. That was awesome.
Not a problem. Thanks for having me. It's been a pleasure.
All right. Well, good night, everybody.
Gentlemen, have a good evening.